This week's episode of Not Your Mama's podcast. And today I'm excited. I have Kim Barnett, a woman who is passionate about spreading mental health awareness and joy. Kim, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. It's such an honor to have you on. Can you introduce yourself a little bit to our audience?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast, Christina. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Kim Barnett. I have an Instagram account called at Kim is Joy, Kim underscore is underscore joy. On there, I try to show that joy through some of my voice posts, as well as explaining my story and my journey with mental illness, in particular bipolar 1 disorder that I was diagnosed with many years ago in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of utilized initially my Instagram as kind of like my own journal. So I did for a long time like journal, in writing on
Mm-hmm.
paper, but it kind of transformed into doing it online. And then once I started getting a response from people and people kind of relating to what I was going through,
Mm-hmm.
it turned into like this whole thing where I used that. And then I also started a page on Facebook called My Bipolar Voice that basically ties in together with my bipolar journey, but also like becoming, I guess, more than that. Initially, my
Yeah.
page on Instagram was My Bipolar Voice as well.
Mm-hmm.
But because I felt kind of pigeonholed as far as um, only showing others that have the disorder,
Yeah.
it felt kind of pigeonholed that I was only like being able to like show myself to those people. But because I've been through so many various different things in my life, not just one thing as bipolar disorder, I wanted it to be more broad. So I changed it to Kim is Joy. My middle name is Joy. It's tattooed on my back. It's like a big part of who I am. I even laugh in my sleep, like a little crazy person, but
Yeah.
it's just like it's a part of me. So I thought that was like the best way to include that and also encompass how I came from a place of despair and depression and mental illness and came out of that still having been through all of that, still a joyful person overall.
Yeah.
Um, how I the page is basically how I got from that despair to what I try to exude now. So.
Yeah. And I know we were talking, you're a first time mom, so congratulations on that. Hey there, amazing listeners. Are you feeling stuck or in pain after divorce? Longing for a more purposeful life? Well, Donna McGoff's empowering courses are your ticket to breaking free from the past and creating a life you love. The time to transform is now. First course is Rise Up After Divorce, Recovery, Reconnect, Reinvent. It takes you from where you are stuck to your personal transformation. Along with transforming your life, you get 75% off on this full process course. And this is a limited time offer, so you will not want to miss this. It includes all courses into one holistic approach. And for those who are seeking a more tailored approach and a smaller investment, Donna has broken down the courses into separate modules, creating a total of 5 courses. Course 1, The Road Through Recovery. Uncover where you're stuck and create a personalized plan for moving forward. Course 2 is Reconnecting with Self. In this course, you will learn how to create harmony and balance among the 4 pillars of the well-being so that you create healthy habits, boundaries, and a relationship going forward. And discover where you are now and design a personal life timeline for a bird's eye view of your past. Course 3 is Reinventing Self. Reconnect with your strengths and passions and finding your sweet spot for the joy and happiness in life. Course 4 is Relaunching Yourself. Be the creator of your future by strategically improving key areas of your life. Don't miss out on her valuable freebie, an insight ebook to kickstart your transformative journey. Download your free ebook now. The link is in the description. Start now. Get a discount of 75% off on your first full process course. Be ready for positive change. Check out the description, take the advantage, enroll today, and seize the opportunity to break up with the past and start with a fresh chapter together. And, I'm sure that, balancing new mom life and, how to overcome like some of the struggles that you've been dealing with, what are some strategies that you suggest for a similar woman going through the same thing, struggling with
Yeah.
their mental health and, maybe having a life-changing event happening, like a birth of a new baby and things like that. What are some of the things that you would suggest to them?
Yeah, so first of all, one, I'm in my 40s, so I'm a first time mom in my 40s. My husband and I tried for 11 years to conceive, so it was like
Mhm.
a big shock one that I got pregnant at 40. But also, I wasn't really prepared for it to happen because it took so long. So,
Mhm.
one, I guess for people that are struggling with infertility, don't give up and don't give up hope. It still can happen even in your 40s. I don't recommend it though. My body hurts. But two, when dealing with like having any sort of mental health challenges, whether it be bipolar, just like depression or anxiety, OCD, anything on the any sort of spectrum of mental health disorders, you always have to have, and I learned this the hard way, so like a plan in place.
Mhm.
So
And what
that's
does
like my
that look
biggest
like? What does a
right.
plan,
So for me, so with bipolar disorder, if you are having an episode, I guess we'll call it, there's things that can happen that are out of your control. So there are, however, indicators that something is about to happen. So for me, letting the people around me know what those indicators are is
Mhm.
key for them to let me know that there's something possibly going wrong because sometimes I've been out of it like mentally myself that I
Yeah.
can't see what is happening to my own body or my own mind.
Mhm.
So letting others know um, when I'm level-headed, what not level-headed starts to look
Yeah. Yeah.
like really important. So my
Yeah.
husband
Communication.
knows yeah, so my husband knows like if I stop sleeping, if I stop eating, if I lose weight like rapidly, if I start having all these projects, like 10 projects at the same time and not finishing any of them, or if I pick up smoking again, like just like I haven't smoked in years, like but
Yeah.
like when I have episodes, like things that I would not normally do, just all of a sudden start coming back to me and I pick them up again. So just knowing those triggers and then what to do if it gets out of control. So we have a hospital that I have to go to. There's like
Mhm.
one specific one in our area. Luckily, I haven't had an episode since before I got pregnant, like a few years. So it's but even so, it can always happen. So
Yeah.
making sure that you have the plan is imminent, and then making sure I have coverage for my son. So my husband works, so there's no way for him to take off a lot of time. So my
Yeah.
mom is retired, so she would be able to help. Just having a plan is like really important, and knowing that the people around you are able to see what is happening when you can't help yourself is
Yeah.
really
Hey, parents, listen up. I've got a game changer for you. The Addicted Child, A Parent's Guide to Adolescent Substance Abuse by Richard Capriola. And here's the kicker. Richard spills the beans on explaining substance used by today's adolescents and how drugs work in the teen brain. He's even included important warning signs for self-harm and eating disorders and how to find the right help for your teen. And the best part is, you're getting all of these mind-blowing insights without breaking the bank. If you're a parent or know someone who is, this book is going to be your secret weapon. Kindle or paperback, grab your copy on Amazon or go to theaddictedchild.com. The insights in this book are pure gold. And spread the word, share the love, and let's empower ourselves with knowledge.
yeah.
So, what are some things that you do to kind of help? Like in your day to day to like, kind of keep like yourself in check, I would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are there like
So
practices that, you would recommend that like on a
yeah,
home?
so that's like a hard one because I'm a mom now, right? So
Yeah.
before I had like a really regimented schedule and I would stick to it because of the sleep disturbances were a big trigger for me with my mental health. So um with a baby, it's next to impossible, especially because I work part-time, my husband works full-time, so I'm like the number one caretaker. So
Yeah.
what I've learned is, and my mom was a big help with this, is to, and my brother too, because he has young kids, is to nap when he naps usually, especially in like the first, like I would say 6 months was like I had to,
Yeah.
because I was so exhausted. So is to find ways to sleep as much as possible, especially if you're dealing with a mood disorder that requires sleep in order to stay sane. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, for me specifically, I would sleep with his long periods at night during that time, and then during the day, his first nap and his second nap, I would nap with him, not like
Yeah.
in his crib, but in my room, and then have
Yeah.
a big and then go pick him up when it was time. But that specifically medication, if you are prescribed medication by a psychiatrist, that is and finding the right medication. So
Yeah.
because I was diagnosed like over 20 years ago, um, I've been on probably 15 different medications in the course of that time, and not
Yeah.
all of them work. So
Yeah.
finding the
Yeah.
right
You don't know
therapy,
it.
finding the
Yeah.
right,
It's
yeah.
all
And it's
it's all
like
like
a
an
guessing
experiment to
game.
find the
Yeah.
right thing, you
Unfortunately,
know?
yeah,
It's
you're like a guinea
trial and
pig,
error.
basically. Yeah. So, and then also weighing the pros and cons of the medications. So sometimes they have like side effects that are not ideal. Like one time I gained like 80 pounds in like a year on one of them, but at the
Mhm.
same time I needed it in order to bring me back to level headed or not manic at the time. So I took those 80 pounds on to become sane again. It was like not a question really. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's not what I wanted, but it was necessary in order for me to get back to me.
Yeah.
So it's been a challenge. I'll say so I've talked to a lot of new moms with bipolar disorder recently because I haven't had any me any what's it called issues with my mood since
Yeah.
I was pregnant and since I've had the baby. So there's only been one other person that I've talked to that's had bipolar disorder that feels similarly, like kind of like the because you're when you're pregnant, your body has like so many hormones going through it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So um, it almost feels, and I only say this, that my husband said it, my mother-in-law and my mom and my sister, a lot of people, that it seems like almost like my body chemistry was changed by the pregnancy and by having my son. I
Yeah.
literally would have, it's a cyclical disorder. So I would have episodes yearly. I haven't had an episode in like since before I got pregnant till now. It's almost like
Oh,
three
that's
years.
pretty
So it's like
interesting.
it's yeah, it's really interesting. So like I feel like they should do like some sort of study on this or something. I feel like it would I don't know, it would be like it's kind of like I don't know, it would be groundbreaking if it was an actual thing. But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems like a thing for me for now. So I'm just gonna roll with it. But yeah. So.
Good. Well, your story is really empowering, and I know that a lot of other moms out there could, probably relate with you and, struggling with their own, mood disorders and things like that. Hey there, amazing listeners. I've got something super special to share with you today. Have you ever felt like there's just not enough hours in the day to juggle everything, from family to business and everything in between? Well, if you have, you are not alone. Our incredible author, Jill, knows exactly how you feel. She's on a mission to help super moms like you and me develop their own personal time management framework. No more mom brain, forgetting appointments, or feeling like you are drowning in responsibilities. Jill's book, Happy, Healthy, and Wise, is not your typical self help guide. It's a treasure trove of hard won wisdoms for human perspective, offering unique, effective, and thought provoking ways to change your life. And the best part is, it's not difficult, time consuming, or scary. So you can grab your book on Amazon or head over to Jill's website, www.jillwright.ca. Trust me, this is a game changer and you don't want to miss it. I'm
Yeah.
excited to dive into the Power Mom Chronicles and know what your answers are. And my first one to you is, what's a game-changing lesson life has taught you?
Game changing. So this is kind of a let's okay. So I hurt my back recently because of the baby, and being 40. And I always thought I was a person who was able to ask others for help, and accept the help. And I feel like I was wrong.
Yeah.
So, being able to ask for help is one thing, but accepting it and actually letting someone help you is a totally different thing. And I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
So, I think one thing I would tell people is, learn to be okay with accepting help when you need it.
Yeah.
Um,
Being okay to accept the help. No, I like that because I know sometimes, I struggle with that too because I feel like, oh, I could do it. I could just do it. I don't
yeah,
need help. But, we do need help. It takes a village to raise children. Um,
yeah.
and so my second question to you is reflecting on your journey, what practical lessons or insights can our listeners apply to improve their own lives?
Okay, so I didn't mention this before. We didn't discuss a lot about it. So my husband's Caucasian. My son is biracial. So,
Yeah.
he is actually really really light skinned. So much so he doesn't even like his features look somewhat black. He has like a bigger nose and like some of my features.
Hmm.
But his skin tone is he looks white. Like if you saw
Yeah.
him, you would think he
Yeah.
was a white person. Yeah. So, I guess relating this to this question is, I keep getting asked a lot of personal questions about my son from strangers. Um, so, at first I was taking it personally, like, how dare you assume I'm the nanny, or how dare you assume he's not mine, or why even ask me? Like, who are you?
Yeah. Like
Um,
back off.
but at the, yeah, but at the same time, like I started thinking about it, and it's better than the alternative. They have these things called Amber Alerts nowadays, where like
Yeah.
people can assume whatever they want. I'd rather someone ask me, and rather than assume and then call the authorities and me have to explain that he's mine or show proof, and it'd be like a traumatizing event. So
Yeah.
I guess it's better to let people ask you things than assume.
Yeah.
So,
So don't
I
always think
never
it's
thought
like
I
a
would.
negative.
Yeah, it's not always a
It's
negative
not always
thing, and
negative and it's not, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like it's probably not
and
as
it's probably yeah,
insulting as like you are taking
yeah,
it. It's meant from
yeah.
a
And
good place.
initially I was, but like if you think it through, it's a lot of times it's coming from a place of wanting to understand and
Yeah.
curiosity, which is better than a lot of times assuming, especially in a
Yeah.
situation
Or,
you
s-
can't
or, or a
control anyway.
conversation
But
starter,
yeah,
you never know.
yeah, exactly. That too, which it
Yeah.
was a few
Yeah.
times.
So my third question is offer a piece of wisdom for moms or anyone, striving to find their strength and voice.
Let's see, offer a pizza. So, well, the ask for help was
Hmm.
already said, but that's like a really big one that I've recently learned. But also, balance. So I finding things that you like to do for yourself only, at least like one thing, even if it's like one thing a week or one thing a month, but like something that's just for you. So,
Yeah.
I have a tendency to want to take care of everybody else first and neglect myself, which is a disservice to me.
Yeah.
It makes me unhappy. So, finding one thing that you could do to make yourself feel good, even if it's like, getting your nails done, just something,
Yeah.
reading a book, whatever, taking a bath, something. And you'll thank me. I
Yeah.
promise.
And then our last question is the best advice you've ever received.
Best advice I've ever received. So I'm kind of like a in tune person, intuitive, I think. So I I like to say this, like trust your gut, I guess. A
Yeah.
lot of times, um,
Our guts are
something's
second
telling,
brain.
yeah, it's like it's telling you something for a reason. Like there's something called, what is it called, a God shot, um, where sometimes things happen or you see things and it's like a sign.
Hmm.
Not necessarily if you don't believe in God or whatever, but like, the universe, whatever, telling you something for a reason. So
Hmm.
like, I just feel like there's like these little pings, and to follow that, it usually leads you in, the right direction. The easiest
Well,
for me.
Kim, thank you so much for coming on this week's episode of Not Your Mama's podcast. It was such an honor to have you on and share your story. All of her links are down below in the show notes. Don't be shy. Go say hi. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you.